Oh, hello there. I'm going to tell you about my day. Here goes. From what I can remember in the morning, I believe I woke up at around 8:30, very groggily. I walked outside and I noticed my mom was sweeping the side of the pool. Well, not the side of the pool exactly, but the floor that's next to the pool. I asked her, "What's going on?" She said that my sisters and my sister's boyfriend will be arriving later today and that she was getting the house ready. She then asked me if I could clean the pool vacuum so the pool vacuum could make the pool nice and clean. So I did just that. I pulled that R2D2 style unit out of the water. I flipped open the filter that the device comes with. And then I pulled all of the little red nestles that were laid inside of the filter and threw them in our side garden next to the pool to feed the ground. I then proceeded to go and rinse the filter till it was nice and clean. I finally put the filter back into the pool vacuum and I threw the pool vacuum into the water of the pool and I turned on the pool filter and set the setting of it to 1. After this whole ordeal was completed, I let my mom know that I would be taking a shower. For it had been a bit of a while, I'd say around 2 days since I last took one. She agreed, and then I went and took my shower. I was using the Dr. Squatch branded soap. Now, why did I try the soap? Basically, because I thought it smelled good. But the big problem with the Squatch soap is that it's really expensive. It's like $7 a bar. And when I finally used it again today, it had been less than 4 showers since I used it, and it was already down to its final sliver of soap, which meant that I pretty much spent like $2 a use. Not great. I will probably not buy that soap again. It's too expensive. Of course, I used dandruff shampoo because I do get dandruff. And I put some moisturizer on my face and I shaved my face. Once I had completed this task, I made my bed and then I went into the kitchen where my mom asked me to make me, her, and our family friend breakfast. So I did just that. I made the bacon, our family friend made the scrambled eggs, and my mom warmed the tortillas. So we had bacon and egg burritos with homemade salsa. It was really good. Very thick, juicy, and delicious. After eating this meal, my mom busted out some crumb cakes she got from our grocery store. Now, we had these crumb cakes with coffee. The coffee that... Oh, hello.
Good night.
Good night. I love you.
Love you too. Ciao.
Ciao. Where were we? I lost track. Oh, yes. We had coffee with the crumb cakes. And after that, we... what did we have after that? I'm trying to remember. Oh, I had coffee in two variants. The black coffee, and then the coffee with this coffee syrup and some half and half in. In my opinion, the syrup was a bit of an overwhelming flavor. But the half and half was offered that nice creaminess to the coffee that I really enjoyed. Then I decided to spend the rest of my time working on my YouTube channel. Now, what I'm learning here, if you want a good YouTube video, or a video that people are interested in clicking on, is that the thumbnail and title are everything to getting people to want to click on it, because that's the first thing they see from your video. And if your thumbnail isn't really relevant to what you showed, and your title doesn't really get addressed at all in the video, people are going to feel like they're wasting their time and then click away. So, if you're going to make a YouTube video, you need to make whatever you're doing in it extremely and precisely relevant to whatever you're advertising. Think of it this way. If I was building a shed, would I want to click on a video where the guy in the first 30 seconds is talking about, hey guys, before we build the shed, I'm going to explain 2 hours of why it took me so long to get all of the equipment and why my neighbor's cat was getting in the way and he made me trip and fall multiple times and I just was having a really hard time. No. I'm going to click him away because I wanted to build the shed. Or whatever, I did not want to watch you explain your entire life story on how you built that shed. So instead, you click on how to build a shed, and instead, we just jump straight into it. First, you gotta make sure you have a 2x4 with the exact amount of hammers, nails, and make sure you have these tools in. First, we're gonna start with this frame. Make sure it is a good frame. Something like that, I like it when things just get into it. No preamble. None of that. And that's something I'm definitely going to consider with my YouTube channel, which my newer channel, Brain Jam. It's really hard for me to figure out how to exactly approach this beast, because the way I want this channel to be is that it's showing my progression as an artist, but it's also telling a story and making it entertaining to watch at the same time. And it's something like that's a difficult balancing act to really get right. You want to get information out there that people can relate to and understand, but you want to do it in a way where people are engaged and are also having a good time. And that's something that I'm definitely really thinking about. I was actually writing down notes of like, okay, here's what the thumbnail is. It's like, maybe the title should be how to become an artist from scratch, or, and then the description would be an artist makes a path where there is no path yet. And then maybe a thumbnail could be like a guy with like a shovel and we look over his shoulder, and he looks at a vast landscape of just completely barren sky with the sun shining up in the horizon, showing like the endless possibilities of this empty horizon. So, I'm trying to think of ways to sort of, on one hand, kind of game the algorithm, but also on the other hand, still try to be as authentic and myself as I can be with this little template. I mean, that's why I do these vlogs. Like, I really like the idea of just being yourself, obviously, and being as authentic as humanly possible, just 100% authentic. But when it comes to a YouTube channel where your sole drive is not only to send information out about your progress as an artist, but also to make it engaging and interesting to watch enough where people want to click on the next video, you have to understand the intricacies and how all of that works out. And that's going to be interesting to figure out for sure. All right. Well, anyways, after getting into that for a little bit, it was time for me. Good night, Jesse.
Love you.
Love you too. So after getting into all of that, I was very interested in... Oh, shoot. Where was I again? So after I got into all that, it was time to go to work. So I put on all my work clothes, combed my hair, buttoned my shirt, tucked my pants into my shirt, or shirt into my pants. There we go. Shoes. Oops. We'll get into that later. And wallet and phone and car keys. I went into my car, but there was a problem. When I flipped the key in my car, at first it sounded normal for the first 3 seconds, and then it immediately, instead of doing the rumble, it started to make a weird scratching sound, which freaked me out. I'm like, oh no, what's going on? Why is my car making this weird scratching sound? So, after I ran into that issue, I asked my mom if she could help out. Maybe it had no oil in it, so I asked her if she could, if she knew if we had any car oil. We checked the car oil meter on my car. It said it was completely full, so it couldn't have been that. Then our family friend walked up and heard the sound, and she said she believed it was an electrical issue having to do with either the alternator or the battery. Now, it couldn't have been the alternator because I literally replaced the alternator about a year ago. So it has to be the battery. And that means that I'm going to have to get the battery on my car changed. Yippee. The problem here was I normally leave around 6 or 7 minutes before I need to get there because it takes me about 5 minutes to drive to work. But because I was having car issues, I arrived a little later than I was supposed to. So when I got to work, I got my family friend to drive me there, which was nice of her. Thank you very much. Now, when we arrived, I got into the store. I clocked in. I was ready to go. First hour was spent bagging. And then I got stopped by one of our CSRs who told me, oh, by the way, you have the wrong shoes on. And this is where the shoe thing comes in. Turns out that I needed to put on my slip-resistant shoes, but because I got so... because I literally just forgot, I used my regular shoes. Now, I was able to call our family friend, and she was gracious enough to pick up the shoes for me so I could put those on and make the switch. So that was cool. Yeah. And then, second hour was spent doing a lot. And throughout a lot, I was doing some breathing exercises. Just to really just lower my cortisol levels, I suppose. And then afterwards, it was my first 10-minute break. Actually, I believe my first 10 minutes was spent contacting our family friend about the shoes. And then you dropped them off about like 30 minutes later after my break ended, which was really cool. I won't forget that again, that's for sure. Next 2 hours, I believe, was spent doing bagging, I'm pretty sure. And then, because... I almost forgot about this. My mom actually made sandwiches. Croissant sandwiches. Because she was going on a beach outing with my sisters and my sister's boyfriend. And she made enough for everyone, including me. And she gave me the sandwich. So I was able to take that and put it in the work break room fridge and eat that for lunch, which was very cool. I dig it. What else? Oh yeah, after I was done eating the sandwich, I did a deep 45-minute breath with Sandy breathwork session just to see what would happen. Every time I did one of those like inhales and like squeezing my body and then letting go and doing a breath hold for like about a minute to a minute and a half, my mind's eye felt like it was like becoming more clear, if that makes any sense. I don't know, I guess I just felt more in tune with my body, I suppose. It's a weird way of putting it, but my body felt really like fuzzy, I guess you could say. It's a weird way to put it. Tingly. We'll just say tingly. Well, anyways, after my lunch break, it was time to do lot and then do sweeps for 2 hours and then do lot for the last hour. Normally for these 9 o'clock shifts, they're pretty stressful because you need to do your set of closing chores, and you also have to do sweeps, and you also have to do lot, and you also have to help out the customers. So it's very much a multitasking kind of job. But lo and behold, I was able to do it. I was able to take out the trash. I was able to wipe down 3 check stands. And that's pretty much it for work. Helped out my coworkers greatly, and overall, I would say it was a good work day. I was when I punched out, I grabbed some pinto refried beans that used lard and some fresh tortillas that you cook on the pan. And I was picked up by our family friend once again. I was driven home, where I was greeted by my sisters, my mom, and my sister's boyfriend. And we had a pretty awesome time, I would say. We had fish tacos, we had homemade pita bread, which is really good with cheese and um, tomato slices. Oh, we played Jackbox Murder Trivia Party. We played Quiplash. We watched a classic Abbott and Costello short, Who's on Third? Really funny short, by the way. And we also watched the first episode of the cartoon series on Netflix called Cuphead, which was very adorable. Then, to end off the night, my my eldest sister showed us this interesting comedy show. I forget the name of it, but it was really strange, very strange. If you've ever seen stuff like Tim and Eric, it's a lot like that. Just bonkers and just completely AWOL for the sake of being as shocking and crazy as humanly possible. I thought it was funny at first, but the further we got onto it, the more and more questionable the content in it became, and I kind of lost interest by the end. And then my youngest sister showed us this funny skit where a guy was pretending to be Steve Jobs, and he was going through each and every one of the new i products. So, the iPod, the iPhone, and then he started going stuff that didn't exist, like the iWave, like a microwave, and then he made a rickety rack, and he called it the iRack. It was so silly, and he started to put a bunch of the i products on the iRack, and the people in the audience were basically saying, you shouldn't do that, you're overworking it. And I think it was clear analogies to the whole Iraq war going on at the time. And yeah, I don't know, I thought it was so dumb that it was funny. And then at the end, the fake Steve Jobs guy said, but we have a new product, the Iran. And it was a shoe with the letters I, with the word Iran over the top of it. And yeah, just complete silliness, but pretty funny. Afterwards, we bid our goodbyes to my amazing sisters and my sister's amazing boyfriend. And then I got ready for bed, took my vitamins, I brushed my teeth, and yeah, now I've made the newest video of the day. Hope you enjoyed this wild ride, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.